All right, today we're talking to Lloyd Kaufman and crew.
Troma team.
Troma, the
it's
Troma,
team, it's not a crew.
The Troma team.
Please get that straight, Stephen.
I will get
We're
that.
a team at Troma.
It is team work.
We're a Troma team.
Exactly.
Troma.
You're correct.
So let's go right back to the beginning. How was Troma first formed?
Well, Jessica, 1974. Remember when we were back in the day? Jessica and I were.
When I birthed Lloyd back in
right.
1974.
I exploded out of her anus, and it was an amazing birth. 1974, Michael Hers came out with me. We decided we would start an independent movie studio from which stars of tomorrow like Jimmy Wright, who created The Architects of Fear, and Broccoli Obama, and Jessica, who wrote The Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
That's the Troma spirit. We like to create independent art.
Toxie was actually
Toxie's here too.
He's actually the placenta that came out with Lloyd.
That is true. That is true. A living placenta. And by the way, if you go to Troma Now, the hot new subscription service from Troma Entertainment, first month free and second month only $4, I think. You can see Living Placenta, a premiere movie called Thingy, and it is about a living placenta.
Very excited.
But this is the high stage puppetry. This is not a real organic human being. It's hard to believe, but this is actually a puppet, and it is being controlled robotically by Mr. Jimmy Wright, Architects of Fear, who indeed had music in what movie, Jessica?
Oh no!
Look in the camera.
No, I'm panicking.
Oh, look at the camera.
Jimmy,
You have to look.
Which one? I forget what it was, Toxie. Which one is? Toxie says it was Big Gus. What's the fuss? Is that correct?
That is 100% incorrect. That's very insulting.
There we go.
Big Gus, what is that? Jessica says it's Return to Nukem High.
Toxie, shame on you.
Volume one.
How dare you troll Lloyd like that? It's a terrible thing to do.
Very bad. There's no respect.
Not good.
No respect here. But Big Gus, What's the Fuss was Terrence Malick's best movie. It's a little known fact. Right, Jimmy?
Yeah, it is. But I had a question earlier when you were talking about forming Troma. What is the word Troma Latin for? I heard that it was.
Well, Jessica, come and explain that, Jessica. Come
My
on here.
God, no.
Jessica, please tell us. You studied Latin.
Very pretty, Jessica.
Troma is Latin for toxie.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Latin for toxie and for excellence on celluloid in the ancient Latin that only Jessica knows.
The more you know.
Well, Troma has the distinction of being the longest running independent movie studio ever. What do you credit for its longevity?
Distinction has the word stink in it, and certainly we qualify. Well, here are some young people who weren't even born. They weren't even birthed when Troma was created. Tell us, Jimmy Wright, why is Troma lasting so long?
Troma's longevity is mostly due to Viagra.
Yeah.
Now, what happens if you have a 4-hour longevity? What do you do,
You should
Jimmy?
see a doctor, and if you don't drink a full glass of water and the Viagra gets stuck in your throat, you might get a stiff neck. That's what I heard.
We're actually being endorsed by Viagra, so that's a pretty new, exciting partnership.
Well, actually, it's by Viagra because everyone at Troma has to be bisexual, right, Jessica?
Yeah, very true.
Well, speaking of Viagra, maybe.
Yes.
Is there any advantage of getting to sleep with the New York Film Commissioner?
Well, one of the reasons that Troma has been so successful is, of course, we have a lot of bitches around the house, but the fans. We wouldn't be here without our 42 years of loyal fans, 3 generations of fans, including, if I may say so, the President of the United States. Sleeping with the commissioner. Well, I met the commissioner on Grindr, so I thought that it was going to be a man, but turns out she was a woman, and it's been 42 years of marriage and bliss and 3 beautiful placentas.
Cool. Now, someone who doesn't really know Troma might just say, oh yeah, they just make independent, like low-budget horror films, but which of course would not be an accurate description. What kind of movies does Troma make?
Well, I would have to turn this over to Jessica, a younger person who wasn't even born last year. So Jessica.
We make low-budget horror films. It's pretty much, yeah.
And
truly independent low-budget horror films.
Truly independent low-budget.
And all sorts of movies.
What makes them different?
What makes them different is...
what makes Troma Entertainment movies different from the usual, what they call B pictures? Jimmy Wright.
Because there's artistic integrity. There is heart and soul in these movies. You have truly independent people. You have the run-of-the-mill, you have the average Joe making a movie. Lloyd sees it. He realizes it's good. He recognizes talent when he sees it. He puts it out, and he gets behind it.
What makes a movie like the Poultry Guys, Night of the Chicken Dead? What makes it special?
What makes it special? The amazing music, and another thing that's amazing about Poultry Guys was the behind the scenes too. I learned a lot from that one.
Well, the movie itself. I don't care about that. I don't care about teaching you young kids. What about the movie? Were there any themes or any political statements?
There were
sociological statements. Perhaps?
Sociological statements. These zombie chickens.
Did they
period.
stand for anything? Was there anything like perhaps the extermination of the American Indian?
Yes, there was that.
Wasn't that a thing?
There was that.
And how about fast food? Is fast food a good
fast
thing?
food was?
Is that
Yes.
a good thing?
Fast food's not a good thing. Flavor pods are not good at all.
So it
Flavor
would
pods.
appear that maybe what makes the Troma movies different from the shite like Tribeca Film Festival shows that pretends to be independent is that Troma has sociological, political themes. And where did Trey Parker and Matt Stone emanate? Out of what placenta did they come from, Jessica?
Out of mine.
Out of Mother Troma.
out of mine.
Mother Troma.
So this is a cue card. This is a very.
I'm gonna say Cannonball the musical.
Very
or
good.
Cannonball.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very good.
yeah, I can read.
Well,
Great.
you're coming along nicely.
I'm
Yes.
gonna get that GED yet.
No problem.
Yeah. Troma's gonna teach me.
It's spelled G-O-D, please.
Oh, okay.
At any rate, many famous people have emanated from Jessica's womb.
Right.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Oliver Stone started with us back in the 60s when we were at Yale.
Crazy.
When we were at Yale together. Who?
Vincent D'Onofrio, from the first turn on, if I'm not mistaken.
Vincent D'Onofrio,
Yeah, Vincent.
yes.
Dare I say Samuel L. Jackson? Dare I?
Samuel L. Jackson,
Yeah.
you are correct. Correctamundo, Jessica. Sorry about my coffee breath, but
That's okay.
James Gunn.
James Gunn, yes, he
Yes.
wrote. What did he write, Jessica? What did James Gunn write?
He wrote
The Bible. You are
The
absolutely 100% correct. James Gunn wrote the Torah first, then the Bible.
The Torah.
And then James Gunn wrote Romeo and Juliet.
There we go.
And he went on to put me in his not quite as good movie, Guardians of the Galaxy, which
Yes.
Jessica has seen 32 times.
Yeah.
Yes, and he
And
was-
my part, she keeps missing my huge cameo in.
He was actually Rocket Raccoon.
What's that?
You were actually Rocket Raccoon.
Did you say?
Actually,
You said I'm a baboon. How dare you say it? That's just because I'm wearing a red thing here. That's terrible.
Yeah.
That was kind of
I'm
racist of
sorry.
me.
I actually
you know.
thought James Gunn dropped the ball a little there because you were the underdeveloped character of prisoner number 2, if I recall.
Well, I don't like the term number 2, if you must say. It denotes kind of a Mr. Hanky sort of thing. And while I like Mr. Hanky cartoons, I don't like to be known as number 2. Right, Jessica? We don't like to be known as.
No.
No.
Have you ever been invited to the Oscars?
We've been invited to Oscar the Grouches. Yes, I was invited to be on Sesame Street, but unfortunately, I used my Catholic priest side of me, and the children were not amused.
Okay. You know,
That's a Sesame Street joke. You know.
I would imagine though, if the day
By the way, Mr. Fuckhead from Sesame Street just died. Did you know that?
Mr. Fuckhead.
Yes,
My
I'm
favorite
sorry.
character.
I know. I hate to break it to you on national
No.
TV, but it's true.
that's not a good way to do it.
No, I'm sorry.
You could have done that
I apologize.
in a little more
but you had
private
to know,
setting.
You had to know. I figure it's better to get it out there and tell you the
It's more
truth.
comforting coming from the coffee breath.
Yeah, and the cough
it
man,
makes- it's
the
okay.
cough man coffee breath. Yes,
You know,
Soothing.
and I have coffee breasts too. If you notice.
Oh, I noticed.
well, while you may not have ever been to the Oscars, I imagine when you pass, they will have you up there in memory. What clips would you like them to show at that moment?
The minute that I get hit by a bus and there is a full head crushing for real, the Troma team says then everyone is going to remember Uncle Lloydie as a genius. But right now I'm living in a refrigerator carton. Yeah.
What impact did digital film have on Troma when digital filming came out?
Impact. Well, I do have an impacted shit in my anus, and I cannot get it out, and I'm doing my best. But I've been having a lot of burritos recently. I think today, the last day of Spooky World, it's going to happen. The impacted turd is going
Yeah,
to be.
it's a latex allergy, so I haven't been able to get in there with the gloves. So I've just been going
Well, get a
Yeah.
leather glove, lady. Come on.
I've been going
Nice
solo,
black,
no glove.
we had the ball thing. What do you call that? Ball gag.
gag, yeah.
That did not work.
No.
But what was the impact? What was the other part of the question?
About, you know,
Digital.
Yes, digital.
Return to Newcomb High, Volume 1, and Return to Newcomb High, Volume 2. Not number 2, but Volume 2. They are shot. It's my first digital work, and I think now digital format is better looking than 35 millimeters. And Return to Newcomb High, it's the first Troma movie I think that's in focus, which is a good thing.
That is the goodest thing. What is it about coming to conventions like Spooky Empire Retro right now?
These are good questions, by the way. Thank you for preparing.
You're welcome. What is it about coming to conventions like Spooky Empire's Retro, where we're at right now, that you enjoy about coming to these places?
Well, I think.
Troma team.
What do you enjoy, Jessica?
The atmosphere, it's great. The vendors are always phenomenal.
The benders,
The-
yes. We went on some benders here that
Yeah,
were Jimmy and I. What was that cat tranquilizer we were taking last night?
yeah.
That was one hell of a
They
bender.
kind of
I'll
went a
bath salts.
little bit of a K-hole.
Oh my gosh, it was
Yeah.
amazing. But I think what I get out of it as an older, distinguished, sensitive gentleman is I get to hear what the fans are interested in, what they like, what they don't like. And I think it's sort of a cram course in pop culture because as a very sophisticated guy like I'm reading Schopenhauer and Nietzsche and Pirandello in the evenings and doing a lot of interpretive dancing. So when I come here, I get to hear about pop culture, so I can make movies like Tales from the Crapper and the classics. Take over, Jimmy Wright.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Wright with Troma, Florida. And
Yeah.
this is the Toxic Avenger right here in my hand.
You said right.
So what's coming out next with Troma? What's in the editing bay right now?
Well, I've been coming out of the closet for years, so that's always going to be happening. And well, stay tuned for Volume 2 of Return to Newcomb High, Return to Newcomb High. We have a wonderful film on Troma now, which is just premiered, world premiere, called Hunky Holocaust. There are many great VHS Slaughter. That's a very good world premiere. It's a documentary about the VHS very hard materials. What do they call them? Hard.
Penises.
Oh no.
Those are always good.
No, those are good too, but hard goods. It's a documentary about the days of VHS.
Physical media.
Physical media, yes, physical media. But the hard penis thing is very good. Yeah.
Okay. And besides Troma now, don't you have another YouTube channel for the fans?
Yes, to thank our fans for 40 years of support, the Troma team and I have put a channel up called Troma Movies. Troma Movies has 300 free movies on YouTube, plus a lot of political statements, our views on Oscar So White, our views on net neutrality and how we need to support it. And we have movies from family-friendly movies like the Toxic Crusader cartoons, all the way to Blood-Sucking Freaks, which, as you know, is Terrence Malick's second best directed movie.
Of course. All right, final question. What do you love most about the art of filmmaking?
Well, what do I love most about the art of filmmaking, other than the hard penises, Jessica?
Tits.
What?
Tits.
Oh, Jessica. That is true, actually. Jessica has a very good point.
Yeah.
But I think I like the creation of I really like the whole process. But I also like trying to change the world just a little bit. My wife of 42 years, Jonathan Swinney, he said, my wife of 42 years, Pat Swinney Kaufman, just retired from 20 years of being the New York State Film Commissioner. She says it's very important to make a difference. And I hope that our movies, such as Poultrygeist Night of the Chicken Dead or Return to Newcomb High, will fight bullying, maybe fight the horrible fast food world, or Troma's War, try to speak out on behalf of victims of AIDS. We've been kind of speaking out on political points all along, and if we've influenced a few people, and perhaps made the world a slightly better place. I think that's what I like about making movies, to be honest.
Toxie likes that too.
All right. Well,
What's that? Oh,
Toxie
Toxie's.
likes it too.
And also high technology. I love
Yeah.
technology. We independents, we get into technology before anyone else.
He loves digital effects.
This is incredibly. It's all lenticular digital effects.
We built this in 7 years. It took us
7 years.
7 years.
That's hard work. It was worth it though, because the independents are always ahead of the major studios when it comes to technology. And Troma was the first studio to have a website. We're the first studio to have this incredible, dynamic, lenticular, technological. How do you call this again? Robotic. Puppetry.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. It just looks so real. I still think it's real. I
Yeah.
can't believe it.
I get scared to come by the booth sometimes, honestly.
I know we have to hide it from children and some of the
And
old
me.
people. Old people.
Yeah.
Sorry, senior citizens. Can't say old people anymore.
well, that's it. Thank you guys.
Stephen,
Thank you, Lloyd.
Stephen, this has been a great interview. Thank you very much for preparing and taking it seriously, because I take everything seriously. Now, Jessica, how do you sum everything up? Come on and sum it all up.
Oh, sum it
Please,
all up.
Stephen, take over. Sum it all up. Right
Please
into
sum it
the-
up for us.
Sum it all up.
Yes,
Troma
please.
is the best independent film. It's just amazing. Watch Troma films. Do it. Worth it.